Hey, welcome back. Still a little bit cold here in Florida. It's a little bit cloudy. But you know, at my age, I really don't need any more stress in my life. When you're in your 60s and 70s, really all you want is some peace. Now it's different when you're in your 40s and 50s, 30s. It doesn't really matter that much to you. But the reason I bring this up is I wanted to tell you that I'm only doing a stage 1 on this motorcycle. Probably even a half of a 1. Not doing pipes. But what I did do is high flow air cleaner. And I got a little tuner just to get the air fuel ratio correct. Because I wanted to run like the manufacturer spec'd it and designed it. And not like a federal regulation agency wants you to have it. And if you follow all those rules by the EPA, which are just crap, they don't mean anything, they'll just ruin your engine. So that's really the only thing I wanted to do here. I wanted to enjoy this bike as it was designed. And you know, I noticed when I finally got rid of the crush that a great weight had been lifted from me. I spent a lot of money on that bike and lost a lot of nights' sleeps because I kept thinking, well, maybe if I do this, it'll be better, or maybe if I'll do this, it'll be better. And it went way back 4 bikes. I mean, I had actually a Roadstar that was a stage 4 drag pipes. That was way back when no one even thought about 100 horsepower. Mine was 125. And of course no one wanted to ride behind me because my drag pipes were so loud they couldn't stand it. So I was always in the back riding sweep, which was fine. I had the fastest bike. Then I went on to my electric glide and my other road glide and this road glide. And I was in a mode where I couldn't do enough to them. And no matter what I did, it just seemed like, well, there's got to be something else to do. And I went through that with my electric glide, and I finally got the other road glide, the 2016, with a 103. And I did okay with that. Then I started to mess with it. Then when I moved to Florida, I found all these things I had to do. And then it started again. I had to mitigate the heat. I tried different pipes. I did a 2-into-1. Did the high intake and headers, all of it. And wasn't enough. Next came the crush. Because I felt like, you know, as much as I love the twin cam, it just wasn't right for Florida and all the heat. So I got the M8. And then started all over. I started what I thought would be improving it. And the first thing I did was take it up to Sturgis and had some pipes put on it, which I thought were great. Then I started with everything else until I got to the point where I finally sold that, and I wasn't even thinking about this at the time. I was only thinking about my injuries, you know, my bad shoulder, and my knees that aren't great. And the reason I sold it, really, because physically I wasn't able to do it anymore, which was hard to admit. But then when I finally sold it and I got this, I couldn't believe how it made me feel. because I no longer had that huge weight on my shoulders. This bike, I had decided, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it stock. I'm going to leave it except for the seat. I was going to change the handlebars, but you know what? They're fine. Someone before me actually put 4-inch risers on there, which make it perfect. Because I'm thinking the only thing you really have to do when you get a bike is make sure you're comfortable on the seat, make sure, especially if you got shoulder problems, that the bars are okay. That's it. I don't stay up at night thinking about what else I can do, because maybe then it'll be right. Well, I'm riding it as the manufacturer designed it. And I'm really fine with that. I didn't realize how much stress it really caused me. You know, when you're 50 years old still, and I consider that young, you don't realize how much you get involved in it and get wrapped up in it. And when you're in your 60s and 70s, you need the peace. You young guys, you have at it. But when you're 60 and 70, you may want to double think that. It's a time in your life when having some peace really, really means something. And it meant something to me, and I didn't realize it until just recently. You know, I go to a cardiologist, and he's a really good one. I drive 3 hours to see him. And my numbers were awful when I started going there, but they've been getting really good. And the wife even noticed that I'm not stressed anymore. My numbers came down. So besides everything else I was doing, I'm not stressing anymore. Because, you know, you could have great numbers when you go to a cardiologist or a doctor, and stress will kill it. And it's important when you're in your 60s and 70s, you got to hang on to whatever health you have. And this helps me do it. I notice that when I ride this thing, all my problems go into this bike and I ride them away. Because motorcycle riding should be about relieving stress, not causing it. I was doing the total opposite. Now I can ride this and I'm really fine. I come home and my stress is gone and I just love this bike. Now I know why there's guys, you know, other guys who ride different bikes, you know, Royal Enfields and Triumphs. And they kind of leave them stock. They just enjoy the ride. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me for years why they weren't doing to those bikes what we were doing. Because they're enjoying the bike for how it was designed. And there's really something to be said for that. Once you get it so the EPA hasn't killed it, just want to ride it for how Harley designed it. And I think this is exactly what the designers meant. Anyway, you should think about that. If you're my age, 60s or 70s, it makes a huge difference.